Welcome back, boys and some girls. This time I'm reviewing more of a fast-paced game that will let you kill hordes of enemies. As always, the subject will be... I don't care about the story, it's not important. The story is served in messages in the hub after every mission. It's some BS about aliens and robots, just shoot, who cares about the rest? Alright, for the gameplay, the core of the combat is fun. Rolling, gunning, everything feels great. But there are some downsides, big ones. The game has an ARPG style combat using 3 guns, an ability and a dodge. The guns divide into primary, secondary and special. Primary means an assault rifle, secondary means a shotgun, and special is either a flamethrower or a lightning gun. They're kind of the same, but like just the lightning does more damage and spreads a bit more. Those are all the guns I saw in 20 hours of gameplay, nothing else. The guns have substats that are dependent on RNG and the rarity of the item. And I say item because besides guns, there are also other pieces of equipment like helmet, chest, pants, shoes, shoulder braces, belt, and gloves. And besides those, you also have an active and a passive ability, which both are items you can wear and you use while in combat. All of the items I mentioned above, including the weapons, has the ability to get stats like damage, hit points, lifesteal, resistances, and a whole bunch more. I'm not going to name them all, obviously, it's going to take a while, there's a whole lot of them. But if you ever played any ARPG, I don't know, like Diablo or Last Epoch, any of those kind of RPG, you can imagine what kind of stats you can see on the items. All of those stats are there to encourage you to play a variety of builds. However, the combat itself does not. There is an ultimate build that is the best to deal with everything. It is due to how the map is laid out and the sponginess of the enemies. But before I go too deep into speaking about the feel of the combat, you need to know that there is also a whole tech tree which you can invest points into by doing some challenges. Those challenges are permanent and will not change or be added to, meaning there is a finite amount of skill points you can choose from. Also, most of the tree is not in the game yet, but yet again you won't care because you only have an X amount of points to invest anyway. And on a small note, there is a crafting system that's supposed to be coming in the future. Could be tomorrow, could be next year. I have no idea. I'm guessing it's gonna let you craft specific items to make whatever builds that you want. Okay, so how does the combat feel? Great, when you get a good rhythm going. By that I mean having some enemies lined up in a big open area where you can dodge, use your ability, and just wreak havoc. This is all doable because enemies also deal damage to each other. You have some abilities you can push or like throw a vortex, and if you time your stuff correctly, you can save yourself a lot of bullets by just making the enemies destroy one another. Guns operate on a hitting mechanic, so you can shoot until you can't anymore and then you have to wait for it to recharge. In the meantime, you can use other guns to continue shooting. Timing all of your guns to fire at the same time with the hitting rate and use which gun for the correct enemy type, all of this while you dodge and mow down a lot of enemies, use your abilities, stuff like that. It feels great. But there is some problems, and here they go. For the map layouts, all the maps are the same, all the layouts are the same. The only difference in between levels and floors is kind of the color scheme of the level, of the floor you're walking on. And even that, just barely from gray to a bit of blue to some orange, red. That's basically the colors. Now you might be saying, okay, so who cares? It's just a fast-paced shooter. I'm just running around killing stuff. I don't really care how the environment looks. I'll explain. I also don't care how the environment looks, okay? What I do care is how the gameplay feels, how it feels to play in the level. And due to the enemies being so tanky, most of the time I just sit around the corner where I can see the enemies and just shoot them using the ricochet mechanic. Because if I go into the hallway, I get hit by lasers and ton of bugs and then just die. And then I have to restart the mission from the start, which basically is like 10-15 minutes again playing the same thing again, which is not fun. And by the way, you lose all of your items that you picked up during the level when you die. It's definitely not fun. And it's not over even just yet, because there's also hazards for each level. Like negatives basically. You can get stuff like reflecting lasers, no going back, halved health packs, and jumping back. I'll explain a bit. Reflecting lasers exactly as they sound. The enemies that can shoot lasers simply reflect off of the walls. No one going back exactly as it sounds. I'm gonna expand on it in a second. You cannot go back to wherever you have been already. Have health back. You just get less HP whenever you kill stuff, and you get like health orbs. And jumping bags are simply bugs that come from off the screen, from not from the floor, like from the ceiling or from the right, from the left, from the right, basically from the abyss, that just jump onto the main floor and just fight you. And most of them are okay. You barely even notice them, and if you do, it just changes your playstyle a little bit. You have to be a tiny bit more careful, or maybe notice something, play a bit more defensive, which is completely fine. I like it very much. But there is things like the no going back, which simply contradict the whole fast-paced gameplay theme, which I really don't like. Basically deploys a one-hit kill laser behind you, forcing you to only move forward. It sounds cool, but it's not, because if you go forward, you die to 20 different things. So in the end, you just play as slow as you can, almost like a turn-based game. You inch forward to let the enemy spawn, then you kill them without moving, in the fear that the buggy laser system will kill you, making you restart 10 minutes of slow walking again. A very simple solution is simply to make the enemies less tanky and the lasers spawn further behind you, not like 1 inch behind your butt, burning your butt hairs. Again, I like the idea of not going back, but it's not fun with the current game system. There are also some positive things. If we just have the negative, like the lasers, left health, stuff like that, there are also some positive stuff. They're mostly more drop rate for items or for HP, stuff like that. It's nothing that you feel like, oh my god, the difference so crazy. It's there. Now, every level you finish, you cannot go back to. It's a one-way street. Meaning, just as I predicted in my first impression video, you will slowly hit a wall that you cannot progress from, which is kind of annoying because it's blocking you from enjoying content that you can't experience unless you become so good you don't get hit. Another complaint I have is that the hazards are not explained. It's simply a trial and error. You have to go in and try and figure out what is what. You don't know what like no going back means, or there's also like no back, something back. I don't remember. There was a whole bunch of stuff that you don't know what it means unless you go in and try. I would like to know, like, have a tiny bit of explanation what it means so you can go in with the loadout you want. Because let's say you just wanted to use something that isn't optimal and then you want to change it. You can't. You have to restart the level from the start. You have to exit, go to the lobby, change the loadout and come here. So maybe give us a bit more of a changeability, like a station at the start of the level or something, or like in the middle of the level, something you can change. There are also some more small stuff that bother me, but they're all small, so I'm gonna fire them quickly. Hopefully it will somehow reach the devs. So first thing is the cooldown on stuns. You can basically get permanently stunned and then just enemies are gonna kill you. It's so annoying because once one thing stuns you, if the next enemy comes in the right time, you're gonna get stunned again and just endlessly. We basically need the cooldown on the stun, that's it. Some weapons damage you through shields. I don't know if it's intentional. If it is, that's dumb. Why do I have a shield then? That's the whole point of having a shield. I don't get damaged. You can have a hit point and a shield. So damage the shield, right? I don't know. Enemies camping you is a small thing, but it's still annoying. Enemies wait for you to pass them, only then they spawn behind you from the floor. Just have the enemies there, or if I come in the general area, already spawn them. Why do I have to go in front of them? And then you spawn behind me something that can stun me, and the shield doesn't come like instantly. It takes a second. So you don't even know which side is the front, which is annoying. But then they just stun you instantly. The enemy spawns from the floor, you get stunned, and the rest of the enemies kill you. It's very annoying. Another thing is that at the start of some levels you have some crates, and basically you have those crates everywhere, like signs and big crates of, I don't know, just stuff, which is fun to destroy using your guns. Problem is they take like 2 magazines just to kill like a small crate. That's insane. Just have them get destroyed in one shot like every other game. Why do the crates have to be so tanky? You can use them with the lightning. You can use the lightning to bounce in between the chests, which is crates, which is nice. Can help you do some more damage. But just make the crates easier to destroy. What the hell? Let me repeat levels, or at least farm in some fashion. As I said, we're gonna hit a wall pretty soon. I kind of did already hit a wall. I'm at level 5, I think. I can do some more levels, but it just barely. I can see that the next level is going to be the end. Like I won't be able to progress further because I simply don't scale as fast. So let me farm stuff and repeat the level. After you get revived, you're slowed down for some reason. The enemy doesn't seem to be slow, but you seem to be slowed for like a few seconds. Why? Just revive me? What do I need to be slowed? What's the point? For the visuals, there's not much to say. Everything is the same. I said so in the previous segment, in the gameplay segment. All the maps are the same, a bit of different colors. The enemies have a bit of variety, which is nice. They have different mechanics and stuff. They look different, but they mostly have the same thing. There is like the regular enemy, then there is a blue one, which is harder to kill, and then there's a purple one, which is even harder to kill, which basically means how much HP they have. They have the same mechanics, the same looks, the same everything. Just basically they have more health. The graphic fidelity itself, it's fine. It's not, I can't say anything positive or negative. It's just, it's there. It's there. It exists. It's fine. It's passable. It's not crazy. I had zero problems with performance until I got the blue screen of death. I just restarted my PC and everything ran fine. I have no idea what caused that. I just simply played the level and boom, computer froze. So it is what it is. Also, for your knowledge, as always, I have an i9 and a 3080. I'm going to start adding this segment into my reviews. This game particularly piqued my interest to add this because I think it's too much money. $20 for the game without discount. I think it's too much. The game doesn't have much to offer. If you play the demo, you basically get the same result as buying the game. Just don't buy the game. Okay, the ending. And what I can say, the best I can come up with is this has potential, right? Not many eyes are looking at it currently on Steam. I hope my feedback can somehow reach the devs, and the core of my criticism is that the flow of combat is kind of strange. It is fun at some places, but there is a lot of obstacles to reach that perfect state, in my opinion. I think you need to make the enemies easier to kill, just less tanky, and increase the number of enemies. Most of the time in between encounters, my little rage bar on the bottom left, I don't know how it's called, it runs out before I even get to the next encounter, which is kind of annoying because the whole point of the game is like fast, 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 shoot, 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 boom, 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 roll, roll, roll. And everything in the game just blocks you, as I said, from how the map is laid out, the tanky enemies, stuff like that. If you take all of what I said and also make the crates or the clutter, everything like in the map, easier to destroy, change some map stuff, it can definitely take the game a very long way. I would be glad to take another look at the game in the future, but as I said in my previous video about this game, the demo and the released game are basically the same thing. So just go play the demo. There are zero things you're missing for not buying the game. Yeah, it is what it is. What can I say? For me, the game is a 5 out of 10, and if everything can be changed into what I kind of wanted to see, I can definitely see this game being an 8 or a 9. Yep, with the correct changes, but we'll see what happens. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, thank you. If you didn't, why didn't you still here? That's kind of strange. Keep us as safe. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.